What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Founder of Fire. My name is Iggy Odighizuwa, and I'm the founder of CharlieAI.io, an AI revenue automation platform that streamlines your entire sales operations to help you make more money from your current leads that you're generating. Now, if my voice sounds a little weird, I'm slightly under the weather, but I wanted to dive into the training for today on continuing our series on how to really build an AI revenue automation system and plug it into your existing sales process. So if you don't know, last 30 days, our AI power systems powering 10 different companies have produced over 2.5 million in cash collected. And one of the companies I've been documenting because I have a unique opportunity to document what we're doing to turn this company into an 8-figure online coaching business. So I'm documenting in real time what we've done. Last month, we did about 400K in revenue, which was a PR month. This month, from January 30th, 2026 is the time where I'm recording this video. As of this month, that same company that I've been documenting and just kind of sharing what are the things that we've deployed inside of the business, that same company, as of this date, has done $530,000 cash collected and generated $562,000 in revenue. Does what I say work? It's been working for me. So I'm biased towards it working for me, and that's the results that we're generating for ourselves and for our portfolio clients. And hopefully, as you start to implement some of these things, you start seeing the results for yourself. So what I want to dive into today is a training that I did on how we actually start to utilize AI to scale revenue operations within a business and what that really means. And ultimately, how can you start preparing your business to adopt AI at a high level? If you haven't got my AI lead management playbook, definitely get it. There'll be the link to it in the show notes or in the description, wherever you're watching this. Definitely get it. I put a lot of time into it, and it's that same playbook that we deploy into every single one of our blue chip portfolio clients' business that allows their business to become scalable and repeatable and fun to grow again. All right. So I'm going to be diving into a training that I did for a summit, one for online fitness professionals and another one for just online business owners. And I think is going to be useful for you guys. Now, for this, do you have setters inside of your sales process? And how do you pay your setters? All right. The way that we traditionally paid our setters when I was building my company for the first time is we paid them like a 3K base, and then we paid them like anywhere from 5% of cash collected from sets that were closed, or we'd pay them like $150 per qualified set that they put on the calendar. All right. So that's how we pay them. For you, how are you paying your setters? Are you doing base? Are you doing hourly? What does that look like? I actually want to know. Put it in the comments below. And then how many of you are looking forward to going through the process of hiring more setters? How many are actually looking forward to the process of hiring more setters? Interviewing, recruiting, vetting, training, meetings, QC, role plays, all those things that happens. How many of you are looking forward to going through that process all over again? If you're like me, at the peak of my brands, I had at one point almost 40 different setters, DM setters under management. It was absolutely insane. But how many of you are looking forward to going through that process to grow and scale your business? And if the answer is no, you cringe at the thought of having to do that all over again, then you need this training. You 1,000% need to be using AI inside of your sales operations, or you're going to burn out. The reason I can tell your future is because I've been there. I know if you're not looking forward to going through that process, and the thought of doing so makes you die a little inside. The light in your eye, I could see the light in your eye going out, and you need this training. Do you feel like inside of your business, do you feel like I'm leaving money on the table? Do you feel like my team I just don't feel like they're good enough? And do you feel like I can't scale without burning out? And do you feel like you're playing business on hard mode? Like you have a sneaky suspicion that growing your business just feels a little harder than it's actually supposed to be. I can say undoubtedly that I have been there 1000%. And do you believe AI can't replace the human touch? Like you got to have humans on your team to do the things that they do because AI can't do it. And do you believe the only way to book more calls is to spend more money on ads? And do you believe scaling ad spend means having to hire more people? If you believe that, my goal is to show you how to personalize and scale appointment setting with 24/7 AI setters. Like 80 to 90% of your revenue and sales operations using AI. Because if you use setters in your sales process, you're losing money due to human error and inefficiencies that can be improved. And I can prove it with just simple math. I'll show you in this training how to scale without hiring more humans, how to increase your sales output without spending more money on ads, and the most powerful technology since the internet for sales teams right now. If you don't know, my name is Iggy, and I think you should vet people before you learn from them. Right? Here's my little rap sheet. I built my first 7-figure online company called Try 180 Coaching. Since then, I built 27 7-figure online brands and 5 8-figure online businesses. And I am actually in the process of scaling my 6th company to 8 figures. And I spent 8 years of my life in a village in Africa, in Nigeria. And I'm the founder of Charlie AI. More on that later. I've kind of become behind the scenes, the guy that some of the biggest names in the space go to learn how to utilize AI inside of their sales operations, which is pretty cool. And these are some of the companies that I've had the pleasure of working with. So we spent a lot of money building our own high-ticket online businesses. This ad account, we spent $1.1 million. This ad account, we spent $727,000. This ad account, we spent $929,000. This ad account, we spent $220,000 for online coaching businesses that we built and grew and eventually grew to hate with a passion. And so this company was able to do $1.3 million in. This one did 3.4. This one did 6.6 for a total across all the different online brands. It was like $13,500,000 and some change. These were online businesses that I built, right? And the reason why I hated them with a passion and reason why I grew to hate them is because there was so much input. There was so much that needed to get done on a day-to-day basis. And it felt like little output. It just felt like we were just perpetually pushing a boulder up a mountain with no end in sight. So payment process for one of my brands last year, this brand would process $2.2 million in payments. This is from a Wave account. And then for January 2026, month to date for some of the businesses, online businesses that are in my portfolio, this one, I already gave you an update on this one. So it actually did $560K collected. This one did $673,000. And across the client businesses, they do about $250,000 cash collected per week, right? That's not contracted. This is money that hits the bank accounts of our portfolio companies, right? And our own online businesses have collected over 8 figures. So that's just a little rap sheet on my background. And the current businesses that we have that are doing over $250,000 a week in cash collected, not a single one of them have a human appointment setter. I'm not against human appointment setters. I'm not against appointment setters in general, but none of those businesses have a human appointment setters. For me, I wanted to grow and scale businesses in a way that I actually really enjoy. And the human setters sales function in and of itself is a dying breed because AI is here and it's here to stay. The process of a human setter, they're hard to retain because that part of the sales process is so redundant and so mundane that they eventually want to go on to the next thing, which is becoming a closer, which is the ideal path for them. So if you want to be able to develop your own in-house talent, you're going to want some degree of human setters, but you don't want your entire sales engine to be dependent on the number of appointment setters that you have, which is why it's really important to learn how to deploy AI inside of your business, right? And why I've never been more excited to grow and scale our businesses since utilizing Charlie and since building Charlie, right? So why did I show you all that? Because I'm a believer that in business, you need to walk the damn walk. You're watching this because you're a business owner who wants to change lives and earn a great living doing so. And I've made it my personal mission to help you do just that, leveraging AI. The titles I'm most proud of is Present Father and Loving Husband. Like, I love my kids and I love my vanilla queen, my wife. And this is where I came from. Like, I spent 8 years of my life in a village. That's me in the picture to the right in the village. The picture on the left is a picture that I took in 2027 when I went to visit the village that I spent a bunch of my time in. I went to visit that, and it didn't change that much from the time when I was a kid to when I went there in 2027 as an adult. But that's what happens when there's not a lot of innovations happening in a country, right? Like, villages just get stuck in time. Like, no real progress gets made. For me, I want to show you some simple math about how you're losing money and you probably don't even know it. I don't know if anyone got into business to waste money, but I know I didn't. I didn't get into business to waste money. All right, so the industry average lead to book rate is 15%. That means 85% of your ad spend is immediately being wasted. All right, so for every 1,000 lead you generate, here's what actually happens. So for 1,000 leads you generate, you get 150 appointments. That's 15% lead to book rate. 150 leads complete wasted. That's 85% of your ad spend just lit on fire. Plus, in order to capture the additional leads that you're generating and nurture those leads, you're having to spend more money on additional payroll just to handle the excess volume. And so even with the best sales team in history, let me ask you some questions. Do your setters ever have to take a shit? Do they ever have a bad day? Do they ever get broken up with? Does anything ever happen that confuses or distracts them? And do they ever need to sleep? If the answer to any of these questions is a yes, you're better off supplementing your team with technology than with more butts and seats. My main thing that I want to impress on you is, like, supplement your team, your sales engine, with technology, because technology never pauses to sleep. It never has a bad day, and it never gets distracted. If you can relate to this, like, you're missing leads due to slow or no follow-ups, low lead quality is wasting your setter's time, and manual setters equals costly, inconsistent, hard to scale. And then you feel like your limited availability equals lost revenue. So the fact that your team has to work a certain amount of hours means that you're losing revenue simply because you don't have enough availability to field all the leads that you're generating. What tool changed everything for me and took me from burning it all down to excited to build and scale these businesses again? It's Charlie AI. It's what I needed. Now it's Charlie, something we develop for ourselves first and for you second, because that's the truth. We are developing Charlie for ourselves. The feature that Charlie has, our roadmap, what it's able to do, its capabilities, it's designed to make my life easier growing and scaling our portfolio companies. So in order to really understand like what Charlie AI is able to do, you got to understand what AI is. Right. So what is conversational AI? Artificial intelligence that enables consumers to interact with computer applications the way other humans would interact with other humans. Right. So this is like chatbots and things like that. NLP is natural language processing, a subfield of artificial intelligence. It helps machines process and understand human language so that it can perform repetitive tasks. Then you've got NLU. It's natural language understanding. I've gone through some of these in my previous videos, and I go through this in more in detail in my lead management playbook that you can get for free. Shameless plug. But you got to understand the different types of AI, and all of that wraps into conversational AI. So there's deep learning. This just mimics how we learn as human beings and how we memorize and develop knowledge bases. All right. So what makes Charlie different is Charlie was built with NLP, deep learning, and a proprietary patent pending NLU layer purpose-built for sales. So what that means is that Charlie isn't just like a regular chatbot. Like, we built it purposely for sales to really understand how to handle objections, how to move leads through the pipeline, and all the different parts of a sales operation that needs to be dialed in that you typically would have to hire different people for. So for your appointment setting, you'd hire like your appointment setters, SDRs. For booking management, you would hire like a lead nurture specialist to help nurture your leads and get them to show, right? And then for application scoring and things like that, you'd hire a sales coordinator, and then you'd have a sales manager to manage those things. You have your team leads, and you've all those different things, right? Charlie was built for us. So let me show you how this works and why I'm so excited about it and why I extremely passionate about what we're building and the impact it's had in the businesses that I'm currently involved in, and the impact it's having inside of our client businesses. So how it works, Charlie handles all inbound lead conversation, engage instantly, qualifying accurately, and booking only the right fit into your closers' calendars. Charlie AI follows up with leads until they buy or eventually die. So there are different lead stages inside of a pipeline. So you've got the lead entry, and then you've got like your application or triage, and you've got when they book a call, what needs to happen there. Then you've got the sales call, like what happens after they're taking the sales call, if you send a proposal, engagement letter, and then they become a client. So there's lots of different agents that we plug in throughout the entire pipeline. And just right now it's like 14 agents and growing to really dial in revenue operations throughout the entire pipeline. So when the lead comes in, you get your qualification conversation agent, right? When they submit an application, we deploy a rapid booking agent. If they're qualified, if they don't book a call within 14 days of turning on that agent, they get passed off to a database reactivation agent, right? And then once they book a call, they get it activates a confirmation agent. If they no-show, it activates a follow-up agent to follow up with no-shows and cancellations and get them back onto the calendar. If they show up to their sales call and they don't close, then we have a re-offer agent to offer downsells, bundles, discounts. And the goal is to get them back onto the AE's calendar or just get them to make a purchase, right? If we've got deals that are pending, we've got agents that are following up with those pending deals to either get them to rebook or get them to sign their letter of engagement, whatever it is, right? And then once the person has signed and become a client, from there, we have an onboarding agent. They can help book the onboarding calls if they don't book their onboarding call. And then after 30 days of them being a client, we've got an NPS agent that reaches out to ask them how satisfied they are. And if they're super satisfied, it'll try and get a referral from them. If they're not satisfied, then it'll escalate to try and get them to book a call with a support rep. All right. So you put all these things together. Charlie AI agents are sequence built on SOP based logic, and they're individually trained for those specific pipeline stages. This is why this company has been able to do $530,000 and $375 in cash collected over the last 30 days, right? It's the reason why that is even possible because of that. So those are all the different use cases. They're purpose built for sales operations. And the philosophy that powers how we build Charlie is we want it in all those different agents to build 3 levels of trust with your prospects. Trust level 1 is trusting you as a go-to specialist for your market. Level 2 is trusting the legitimacy of your brand. Level 3 is trust in your program's unique ability to deliver results in a unique way they haven't heard before. So we're building 3 levels of trust. And then let's be honest, if I didn't tell you this was AI, you probably wouldn't have known. This lead comes in and they say, Charlie asks them a question and they say they want to lose 30 pounds, 30, 40 pounds. And Charlie's like, got it. 30, 40 pounds is definitely doable. What all have you tried so far to lose weight? Just about everything. I've lost 80 pounds so far, but now I'm starting to yo-yo and can't lose anymore. Charlie's like, wow, 80 pounds is impressive. Are you experiencing any symptoms that might suggest something underlying is going on with your weight plateau? Right. And they're like, thank you. I've always felt like I have hormone issues or thyroid issues, but every time I get blood work, it's always the same within the normal ranges. Whether I'm in the very top or bottom is still considered normal and they can't help me. Charlie replies, I totally get that frustration. Standard blood work often misses the full picture. Would you be open to scheduling a consultation to discuss your situations in more detail? We take a more comprehensive approach. For sure. I'd love that. This is a conversation that's happening. Then Charlie, I have a few slots open in Central Time, Tuesday, September 22nd, 8 a.m. or 2 p.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m., Thursday. And then they're like, Wednesday would be great. And then Charlie books them in for a call. And then this is the stats for that week. It processed 414 leads, booked 67 of them in for a call, just like that, for a lead to book rate of 18%. This has been working inside of this company account for over a year now. And Charlie is responsible for producing over $2 million in cash collected from sets closed from Charlie. Deals that it puts on the sales team's calendar that they close and collected cash from. It's responsible for over $2 million in cash collected for just one account. All right. So this happens 24/7 while you sleep, while your team sleeps, while they take shits, while they take lunch, while they're having a bad day. It is doing this and filling in the operational gaps where we fall short as humans. Charlie never stops, same quality conversation every time, unlimited simultaneous conversations with zero human limitations. This is the power of it. And if you're not supporting your team with an AI setter, an AI revenue automation platform inside your sales engine, you are going to be left behind. Because companies like the ones that we're building are generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash collected every single month with a lean team, with a lean sales team. That is with a sales team of like 6 people. We're going to start ramping, and we're going to take this from $500K to over $1 million a month and beyond. And we're not going to hire any setters to do that. Time to deploy with a setter versus time to deploy with Charlie. A setter can only work 40 hours a week. You're typically paying them $25 to $20 an hour, 40 hours a week, 2 to 4 weeks to recruit, 1 to 2 weeks to interview, 2 to 3 weeks to train, 4 to 6 weeks to perform within KPI. That's over 3 months. Right? Even if you outsource it, you're hiring and recruiting of setters to a third-party agency. They're doing the same thing. 2 to 3 weeks to recruit, 1 to 2 weeks to interview, 2 to 3 weeks to train, to try and limit the time investment that you need to be able to ramp. But then they're charging you an arm and a leg just to place 2 to 3 people that may not even work out. Charlie comes out to about $3 an hour. It works 160 hours a week, 7 days a week. That's 24/7. It takes 30 minutes to onboard, 14 days to fully train on your process, like top to bottom. You can deploy immediately after training and ramp it to full capacity the same day you deploy it, right? And then a human setter can effectively handle 20 to 50 leads a month, 500 leads if they're an absolute dog. Able to have one conversation at a time. The turnover, retraining, and paying commissions, slow speed to lead, follows up a few times with each lead, and then eventually gives up. Charlie can effectively handle 18,000 plus leads per month, because we have a client right now generate over 20,000 leads per month that they're assigning to the AI, which is why we have 18,000 plus, right? It never quits. You train once, you pay 0 in commissions, instant speed to lead, falls up onto the leads, buy or die. For you, do you see how AI can help you scale without wasting time on setter management? All right. Do you see how AI can help you increase your sales output without spending more money on ads? And do you see how AI is the most powerful technology since the internet for sales teams? All right. So there you have it. I just gave you the recipe to our Bugatti acquisition system. You're welcome. And you're going to be watching me as I record more of these videos. You're going to be watching me build an 8-figure organization in real time. All right. I'll be sharing what we're doing, sharing updates on the systems that we're deploying, but this is the system. All right. It's Charlie and a bunch of savage closers with some good marketing and solid back-end operations. And it's to the moon. How many of you have had a limiting belief about using an AI setter that was completely obliterated? All right. If the answer is yes, do you want to hear how you can get started with Charlie? If you want to get started with Charlie, simply go to charlieai.io and request a demo. Complete the demo application, request a demo, and we'll show you it in action. But this is the technology that's powering what I believe will be the future of sales teams. I don't think we'll ever be fully without salespeople on a sales floor. All right. But AI has gone to the point where a lot of the manual grunt work, manual follow-up, manual report building, manual filtering, manual lead management, a lot of those things are all being done powered by AI softwares like Charlie AI. So if you're interested in just seeing it in action, go to charlieai.io and book a demo for yourself. And if you want to get your sales process and get it AI ready for adoption, right, and do a little pre-work, in the description, download our AI lead management playbook to learn how to essentially document your sales process and get it ready to delegate to AI agents. So hopefully you found this helpful. Until next time, stay calm, change lives, and have business on your terms. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.